I always wonder though if like, maybe like 5, 6, 7,000 years ago. I mean, people were smoking hash back then too, but I wonder if they like had refined versions of hash because they had like their, they had their production hash that like, you know, in certain temples they would just burn big like brass trays of hash and everyone would talk about philosophy all day and get high, basically just like hotboxing a room. And that's what they used to do in like ancient Greece, Rome. Like they would just burn blocks of hash, put down the curtains and all these big beautiful fucking like places they built and just get baked and talk about ideas of like, what if this happens, what if this happens, bro. Everyone was literally stoners 2,000 years ago is my point. And I wonder if they had refined versions like this, because this is just made with like water and ice and a quality plant. Like, I wonder if they had that ability and figured it out. And I always say it to my dad. I'm like, when we get really stoned and hang out, which is, it's been a while. I haven't seen him in like months, but I'll be like, Dad, what if the Egyptians, when they were referring to gold and talking about gold, maybe they were just talking about terps. Maybe they had like little jars of like golden perfect little hash and terps, and like they were obsessed with terps. And he's like, definitely not, but that's a cool idea, son. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's right here. Perfect. What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 54 of the podcast. Hope you folks are doing good today. Before we get into today's episode, don't forget to check out bmsglass.com. We just re-released all the original Bear Mountain Studios shirts and hoodies, the cream shirt, the black shirt, and the black hoodie. These are the ones we dropped in 2019 that have that really cool like bear head. And honestly, that design is kind of like, for me, it gives me like old like early 2000s hardcore band like jersey and shirts vibes to it, the way like how aggressive the bear looks and everything. I just love that design. It's my favorite one. So make sure you guys check that out. We have a new mood mat with that bear head design, but it's more a simplified version of the bear head design and a round on that cream, so it pops nice with all those teals and colors and yellows. So those are available at bmsglass.com. And also don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at the website there, because that way you can stay up to date on all drops, giveaways, and everything Bear Mountain Studios. Okay, I did it, guys. Have to do those little intro things. We got to plug ourselves. That's what we're here for. But I hope you guys are having a good day. If you want, roll up your joint, pack your bong, whatever you got to do. Let's get started and kick it and try to enjoy this hour rant and sesh. And if you've never watched this podcast before, what's up? My name's Evan. Essentially what this is an hour just hangout rant. We talk about function, talk about glass, talk a lot about life, and just get too stoned on camera. So if that sounds like something fun to you, hang out with us and kick it for today. So some of the flavors we have on the table today to smoke, all from Laser Cat. Got a bunch of Laser Cat. Got a little tower of power here. I had one more box, but I already smoked through it, so can't make a perfect little pyramid, but that's okay. The flavors we got are Papaya Cake number 2. We have Private Legend. We have GMO, Grape Nerds, and Banana Puffy. So I'll go through all those and talk about the terps and stuff, and we'll smoke some of these newer pieces and talk about the function. But first, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, smoke this joint, and just decompress from the morning, because we got a little cream in my mustache. I got to get my beard cut. It's been quite the morning. But isn't it always, right? I think any person that has kids, has a job, and has like obligations to do every day, almost every morning's a fucking morning. But I'm not complaining. Today's been good. When I was working out today, though, I was wondering one thing, just because like I'm a bit of a masochist myself. Like I like to work really hard and push myself. And I kind of like, it gets me like feeling good for some reason when I push myself really hard, and it's like a form of masochism. But I was wondering, because when you're working out, you're actually physically breaking down and hurting your body so that it can grow and be better and stronger and build up. So does that mean biologically we're all masochists, because our body, in order for it to grow and be better, it needs to put itself through pain and torture in order to build up? I don't know. But that was some of the things I think about when I'm working out. I'm wondering, I'm like, am I a biological masochist as well? Maybe masochism is just the most natural thing for humans, because in order for us to grow, we must suffer. I don't know. this is a good joint. This is some Crescendo. I don't know the garden it's from. I got it from a Cut Above a few weeks ago, and I just found the jar of it in my drawer. I forgot I had it. Got super stoked because I'd been smoking the dank dough for like a month. And then, because usually when I go to the dispensary, I'll buy like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 ounces of all different shit and just to have it. That way I don't have to make multiple trips. And I'd been smoking that dank dough, but I'm stoked I found this Crescendo because this is actually really nice this morning. It's like mild, which is kind of what I want because we have like quite the lineup of hash here we got to get through. So a nice mild joint in the morning with my coffee is the way to go. I don't need to go to space just yet. We'll get there. One thing me and my producer Aisha were just talking about, speaking of going to dispensaries and stuff, man, since this pandemic thing happened, it sucks. You can't smell flower or anything anymore. Like when you're picking out specific strains, you just have to look at the jar and be like, that one sounds good. Can't smell it. Can't like look at the bud structure up close under a microscope anymore. I miss that. That was some of the funnest shit when I moved to Colorado, was being able to go to a dispensary, look at all the different flowers, smell them, smell the concentrates, see the different consistencies, because every batch is different. If you guys aren't familiar with buying concentrates in a medical or legal state, even if it says that, hey, this is some OG Kush, the batch number is different, which means each run is different because these are all like plants. So every grow is going to be different. Every process of grow is going to be a little different. There's very few companies that have pure consistency. They're here. We have them in Colorado. There's some really consistent companies, Green Dot being one of them, Laser Cat, 710 Labs. These guys all do a great job with everything they're doing. But, you know, that's only a few companies. You know, most of the time the inconsistencies are what can really fuck up that like quality of medicine you're trying to get. Because even one day, like, you go buy your favorite strain from your favorite company or whatever, and then you get home and you're like, oh, this is not as good as last time. And that's just because shit's batch to batch. So it's good to find the consistent companies and what strains they do the best. Because that's another thing too, it's strain dependent. Some companies, like, you'll have 4 different brands all grow Mac, which is the Miracle Alien cookies. And every grow is going to be different. Honestly, most of them phenohunt and they find a little bit different genetics. Some people just pass around cuts and all of the same thing. But I've tried Mac from all different people, and I'm like, there's no way this is the same cut, because even if this was grown a little differently, the terp wouldn't be this different, or the bud structure wouldn't be this different. Even though all Mac is really super crystally and pretty like tight bud structure, man, you can notice the difference in flavors from grow to grow or batch to batch. But man, this Crescendo is great today. And I don't even know what kind of coffee my wife made, but for my birthday, she got me an espresso machine, and let me tell you, besides all the milk getting stuck in my mustache, I absolutely love the espresso. It's really nice. Super good with my fucking weed in the morning. And it sounds bad, but it like kind of gives me something to look forward to when I'm trying to get out of my bed, like another little motivator. It's like, oh, I get to have that good coffee. I just got to get my 2 feet on the floor and get the fuck out of this bed. It's tough. It's not that tough isn't the right word. I'm stoned. This is what's happening. It's already happening. What the fuck? But I was talking to, always talking to my trainer. She's the only person I talk to, because I just work out and work, and she's the only person close enough to me when I'm working out to like talk to, so I talk to her. But we were talking about how like there's like this famous, I don't know if he's a boxer or MMA fighter, but this guy that she kind of like uses some of his like sayings and stuff to live her life around. Like, it's a lot harder to get out of a comfy bed in the morning and like to go work out and do things, as opposed to like getting out of a really uncomfortable bed. And that analogy, when she like broke it down to me, she was like, think about it. She was like, if you're laying in this big, cushy, comfortable bed, you're not motivated to get out of it. You're comfortable. You're feeling good. If you're having a really good, comfy life, you're not motivated to push yourself any harder. You're comfy. You're good. But if you're laying in a fucking piss-stained, hard as fuck, rock solid, cold, uncomfortable bed, in the morning, you're excited to get out of it. You're like, I want to get out of this shitty bed and go out and get it and work hard because this bed sucks. So sometimes your comforts can be the things that deter you. My life, though, the latte gets me out of bed. So that's like a luxury and a comfort, and it's something that gets me excited to get out of bed. So I don't really know what my point is with all that, but I tried to make one. I tried to put something together. It's fucking morning, guys, honestly. Like, I've done 54 episodes, or 53. This is number 54. And every week I'm like going through my own personal stressors and ups and downs and stuff, but I still want to come here and kick it with y'all and just vent, drink some coffee, smoke some weed, and enjoy some hash and pieces. But yeah, let's get in some dabs now. We did our little intro stuff, just getting like, you know, unwinding from the morning and fucking smoking a little bit of this joint. But I think it's time to start going through some of this laser cat and talking about the terps and checking out some of these pieces and just get extra stony before I start my official workday today. For first thing first today, I want to smoke my 14 mil double diffuse before we get into any of these fancy crushed opal or colored pieces. I like my my simple, clear 14 millimeter double diffused. This is my daily driver. I absolutely love this piece. I don't clean it with ISO or anything. I literally just blast hot water through it. But that's probably why I got some water stains happening in the neck. But I'll just use some Alkanox. Like basically every couple months I'll soak this in Alkanox overnight and it takes all water stains off. If you guys have bad water stains in your clear pieces, look up the product Alkanox. It's just a concentrated like dish detergent type thing. Comes in a powder form. You mix it with some water and throw it in a 5-gallon bucket with your pieces, and it literally just strips off all the water stains and shit like that. It's literally just like dish soap, but it's like super concentrated. But let me heat this up. I don't even know what I want to get into first. There's a lot of fruity stuff on the table for like all the concentrates and shit. So I probably should start with a fruity thing. That way I can have those gassy stuff in between. So let's start with the grape nerds, because that sounds really good. So we'll start with those grape nerds. Let's talk about the packaging too, huh? You know, presentation is awesome. These guys kill it. I wish I knew more about Laser Cat. They obviously need to be affiliated with the guys up at like Everdream and like, you know, all the basically the glass gods in our industry up at Everdream. It's got to be affiliated with them, just being that it's like Laser Cat, and Laser Cat was like their inside, I think like mascot or something. I'm not even sure. Shows how lack of education I have on my actual industry. I don't fucking talk to anyone though, and I don't get out. So like unless it was posted on the internet with description of what it fucking means, I have no idea. So I'll just assume, and I'll just make up some stories behind it. But either way, let's talk about the packaging. It looks great. I love how it comes in this little box, and then the hash itself is like wrapped in this little tissue paper, and then they come in these like really cool like fucking trippy ass little jars, and it's like a white glass. It's not ceramic. I've dropped these before and shattered them, so I know it's glass. The way it broke, man, this grape nerds. It smells just like grape Kool-Aid, like, but when you open the packaging before you put water in it. So when you're just smelling that concentrated powder, that's what this shit smells like. And it's like this like yellow jelly. This is some lava rosin, and I got some regular rosin, but this one is some lava rosin. So the lava rosin just means lava is their like consistency. They call this jelly. It's like this transparent goop. And hopefully in 2021 we can get our third camera going and actually show off the hash a little better. But fucking everything takes time, and every time like it's like 2 steps or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, as it seems how things go constantly around here. But that's why the later I stay up and the harder I work, I'm fighting the universe trying to tell me I can't do it. I'm forcing it to let me in. So I'm just going to keep grinding until it fucking happens. God, this color was fucking like green, but now it's like this crazy plum purple. These lights in here completely changed. These studio lights we use to film the podcast do really cool CFL shit to any piece that has some sort of CFL reactive glass in it. We'll talk about all those pieces in a minute, though. Let's just enjoy these grape nerds and get the first dab in of the day. Something real fruity and bright. Hopefully it has a similar cerebral effect of waking me up and making me feel really alert and awesome. Because I know that the GMO and the Private Legend coming up here in a little bit are going to melt my face off. The fruity stuff doesn't get me super high. I just love the flavor of it. Like, I can smoke fruity hash all day and I only hit like a certain amount of stoned. I won't break through that level where I'm like, holy fuck, like I'm questioning everything. But if I smoke some really strong like gasoline terp shit, like some OG dominant stuff, like that's the shit that I don't know, it just affects me in that way. But everyone's different, right? I'm sure some people smoke like, you know, fruity stuff and they get a way more intense high just because the way their body reacts with those terpenes or something. we're all on a different spectrum when it comes to, you know, how we experience like these natural chemicals that we ingest from this plant. So where's my terpometer? Oh, right there, hiding behind the hash. We're turning things on today. I didn't even say it out loud. Fucking getting shit done. Last week was a shit show. Appreciate anyone that stayed and watched that episode or any of these episodes, honestly. But that one was really something. The Terps did the talking last week. I was a little bit more off the hinges than I normally am, but I was just all wound up and I didn't know what else to do. So I was like, I'm just going to go off. Just talk. It's happening. Oh my God, I still need to order that 14 mil nail I talked about. I still haven't done it. As much as I get done, as hard as I work, I am the master procrastinator. It's insane. But you can still work like 24/7 and be super driven and be a procrastinator. You can do all of it at the same time. It's wonderful. You can be whatever you want to be. Me, I'll procrastinate on simple shit that like I can get done really quickly, but I'll be very driven to work on things that'll take me months to achieve. It's very, very backwards. You would think that the little things I should just button them up nice and quick, get it done, and then go for the bigger goal, but that's not me. All right, we're at 560. I want to take this at about 480. So we're giving it just one more second here. Sorry, I'm slurping in the mic and shit. You know, I'm still learning my etiquette, how to be on mic and enjoy a drink and also host a podcast. Oh, there's a dabbing technique I didn't talk about last episode that I told you guys I was going to talk about but didn't. So let's do it now. What I've been doing lately, I don't know why. Bubble cap, then spinner cap. Holy fuck. Here's why. Because the cloud from that bubble cap in the beginning is so thick. Wow, okay. That should have shown you that technique later in the episode. Should have just started with straight spinner. What I notice is when I use that bubble cap and for the first part of the dab, I get a bigger initial cloud just because the whole nail is hot, it's ready to go. But as the nail starts cooling, I'll throw that spinner on there, and then the pearls can start doing the work, moving the concentrate around, hitting all the hot spots that are still on the nail, including the pearls have their hot spots, and continuing to vaporize the oil at a lower temperature. Oh. This could be all fucking fake and not any different. But clearly, I don't know if you saw how thick the first cloud was that came out. But that shit, I think it does something. So, all the RBRs come with one of these bubble caps with the high airflow and shit. So I'd say, if you have a spinner camera, oh my God, I can't even talk. Literally, if you want to try what I just did, throw a fucking bubble cap on there for the first few seconds of the pull, get your first big breath in, then exhale and throw that back on there for that second breath. I know some of you are savages and can just take it all in one breath, but I'm breaking this down for people that are less savage like myself. They're just trying to do weed like the cool kids and find cool techniques. But this, honestly, who knows if this is even a technique. This could just be a product of someone who smokes too much hash and is trying to find ways to make it more interesting for himself on the daily. I have no idea. Man, that's good coffee. Holy fuck. That's the little things in life, you know? It's like some good hot bean water, you know? Some hot bean water with some cream in there. It's those little things, man. I live for that. And I've said it before on this podcast, but the world could literally end as long as I had some hash and some coffee, or even just some weed and some coffee. I'd probably be pretty rational as the world was really ending. I'd probably be totally fine. Like, be on the Titanic while it was sinking, as long as I had like a little latte and like fucking joint, I'd probably be fine. I'd be like, you know, we had a great run. This shit's lit. Let's just get out of here and just smoke our fucking joint and drink our coffee. It's fine. Wow. That was really, really good. The Grape Nerds, the terp on that. Not every strain that you smell tastes like it smells. If you guys ever experienced that, you crack open a bag of weed, it smells one way and you smoke it and you're like, wow, that tastes like fucking bologna. Like meat or something. It doesn't even taste like oranges. This Grape Nerds really does taste how it smells. It's very like, It tastes like grape Kool-Aid. It definitely has a little bit of gas in there. Let's see what the cross is on it. This is grape pie times Chem 4 times Girl Scout cookies. Well, there you go. That Chem 4 times Girl Scout cookies is definitely where I'm getting that gas from. But the initial terp on it when it hits you is heavy on the grape. Grape pie times Chem 4 times Girl Scout cookies. Wow. Grape nerds. That was awesome. And one thing I'm doing this time with my laser cat is I'm putting it back in this fucking tissue paper, back in the box, so I don't smoke it as quick. Because I found is the more obstacles I need to go through to get to my hash, the less I'm going to smoke of it. Hey, I'm human. I'm lazy too. Even if I work all the time, I'm still lazy. That's what it is. Lazy about weird things though. Like moving a broom into the broom closet, I'll just put it on the outside of the door. I'll lean it against the door. I totally could have opened the door and put the broom in there. I'll just lean it against the door. Like taking my coat off when I come inside, I'll hang it over the railing. The closet's right next to the door. I could put it right in there, but I put it over the railing. So I'm lazy, but in a weird way. I'll still work till 4 in the morning, 7 days a week, and have a smile on my face. But I'll be lazy about other things. You know, we got to flex the laziness muscle too, right? We got it for a reason. I wonder why genetically we have laziness, though. Like, what is it? Why, and when we're evolving from all these different creatures and becoming human, why did laziness stick around? Why was that part of our genetic makeup? Like, why was that part of our instinctual thing to be lazy sometimes? There must be a function to laziness that helps us survive and be human, right? Or why would so many of us do it? Smoke weed every day. Okay, let's take another dab because that's how I'm feeling this morning. Feeling lazy. Feeling like I want to take dabs. Last episode was wisdom. This episode's laziness. Let's see what to start with next. We got a mini double diffused, or I got another. Let's hit the mini and then we'll hit the big boy. So I don't need that 14 mil quite yet. All right, this color right here is a pretty cool one. This is blue slime mixed with potion. So it looks similar to Lucid Potion, but actually it's a lot more like rich and dark on its CFL shifts just because the blue slime is a bit darker of a color with that creaminess to it. And the potion gives it just its CFL ability. So in this light, we're going for that purple right now. So it's looking real plum-like. And then in another light, it's going to be like a forest green with like bright lime like clouds in it. Right now we have like plum with some like bluish like I don't know, twilight kind of looking fucking clouds in it. I don't know. It's a really unique color. Again, this is one of the most fun things about the last year is just all the color mixing we've been doing. Because for years we were just doing like colored foot and neck, and then the body would be different, like two-tone color stuff or full color, like solid, like block color. Now we're doing like all these fades and blends. It's nice to see the consistent like growth and change. Like as much as I make a lot of RBRs, but we're not stagnant. We're always doing other things that are different, like variations and then colors, and then refining the original designs even more, trying to make them better and better. Because I've had friends be like, how do you not get bored making the same thing? I'm like, dude, I'm not like making, like I'm following a guideline. I'm making a similar product each day, but at the same time, like I'm always using different colors. I'm always trying to like make it better. Even if someone thinks it's already the best it can be, it's like, how do we make it better and better and cleaner? And so I find the enjoyment and progression within the fine details of some of that stuff, or just the different colors and seeing how they end up in the end. For years I did like constantly making a different piece every day, and like I definitely had people that liked watching, but no one was like, not as many people were scooping. And I want people like using my work, and I want to be able to create a living from what I love to do. And I feel like that's that's a common collective dream of almost every human, is being able to create something with your hands and provide for your family. That's just so primal. Like, and that's all I'm trying to do. So for me, it's really cool that I can do that, and like being able to still like, I'm making a similar product every day, but I'm still able to do so many different things and do what I love to do every day, provide my family. To me, it's nothing but blessings. But when I was making different shit all the time, not as many people were supporting. So People loved watching. They loved being like, oh, that's crazy, or like, how'd you do that, or like, I've never seen anything like that. And that's fun. That's fun to motivate and boost your ego. But when you walk inside and then your wife's like, oh, like, we just got another bill for this, how are we going to pay for this? Like, that's not cool. So what's cooler is to do what you love to do, but in a way that it keeps the people around you safe and shows that you're knowledgeable, that it's not just about you and what you want. As much as every day, sometimes I feel like I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm like making all this shit about me. It's like my wife does everything for me and everything for Bear Mountain. And even she has like her days where she's like, I wish I had my thing. I wish I had something like I was working towards that I could be proud of. And I'm always like, Bear Mountain is your thing. Like this company wouldn't be here without you. Like we do this together. This is our thing. Like, but I know what she means. Like, she's like, well, people see you blowing glass and they know your face and they like respect you for what you're doing. And like, I want people to like, she's like, I want to feel that too. Like, I want to have something I'm good at that, you know, I can feel confident in. And I'm like, fuck, I want to do that for her. But it's like, how do you figure that stuff out, right? That's why my wife does a lot of aerials. She does a lot of circus stuff. She's like does like silks up in the air. She does like Lero, which is basically aerial hoop. That's what she spends all her free time. And I actually just bought her this rig thing so she can be like outside this summer and actually practice all the time. So I'm trying to like, you know, water that seed and let that grow for her so she can feel that or have something that she can be really proud of. You know, and that's what I mean too. You have to think about the people around you. So it's great to be successful and good at what you're doing. But at the end of the day, if the people around you, the people that love you and believe in you, if you're not giving them the opportunity to feel what you're trying to feel or what you've already been feeling, then it's pretty selfish. I don't know how we got here. Wow, weird, dude. Hash, bro. Hash. That shit will get you. You got to watch out. That's why you should only smoke it with your friends or put it on camera and just put it out to the world and see what happens. Because you say some weird shit. What can you do? We need pearls. Oh my god, that last dab honestly kind of fucking tore me up. I feel really fucking stupid right now, honestly. How am I even gonna get these? I'll just steal these pearls. Okay. I guess I didn't use ruby pearls last dab. Must have been boro pearls. Still got me. Those ruby pearls definitely stay hotter longer though. Wow, shit's sticky. Well, we're not having a Sunday sale today, this weekend, on this Sunday when this drops. But we will probably have one the following weekend, because this weekend we're trying to do them every other weekend, so it's a little less intense on my wife, because for her to do all the photos, do all the uploads, and deal with all the customers, to do it every Sunday, like, she's like still dealing with stuff by the time the next Sunday sale comes up. It's just like too much. So we're just trying to do them bi-weekly now and not do them every Sunday, because it's just like too intense for the family. Because when we do Sunday sales, like, there's a high percentage chance that our day is going to be bad, really bad. It's just because it's just so intense and stressful, and then we feel like really guilty because we've been like working all day and it's like a Sunday and our daughter's home, and it's just like it's crazy. Trying to find a balance and be like, you know, there for your family and stuff. Shit is hard. But we're figuring it out. But Sunday sales are a blessing, but also they come with, it's like a double-edged sword. Like a blessing, we're grateful for the support. We're actually astonished at the support. It's insane. But then on the other edge, it's like very high stress, kind of gets everyone wound up. We start sweating like as soon as the morning starts. We're like sweating. It could be negative temperatures. We're sweating. This weird sweat too. It's like that anxiety, fear sweat that's really thin and watery and smells bad. You guys know that sweat, right? Yeah. You get stressed out and scared or something. We get that sweat during Sunday sale, and we're like, holy fuck, okay, it's 11. Hit the button, make it live, and it's just also stressful. But you know, like, that's part of it though. Like, you can't expect to sell a bunch of glass like that and have that many people trying to support you without feeling some sort of other negative effect. Like it's yin and yang, you know what I mean? They kind of come together. You can't just have your cake and eat it too kind of thing. You need to feel everything. And that's why I try to tell my wife, I was like, honey, like if you want to like crush this hard and like sell this much glass and work this hard, then we have to be knowledgeable that we're going to also feel other feelings that are really intense and maybe aren't good feelings. Just like if you want to have a big social media following, you have to expect you're going to have people that hate you so much. You know, it's just what it is. And again, we really should have kept talking about the glass, but here we are. I've actually just been trying to clean up this nail, get some pearls in it, you know, get it all ready. Because my other nails are inside, so I like had 2 nails out here that were kind of dirty, so it takes a minute to maintenance these things before you actually fully warm them up so you don't really fuck them up. Chaz them out too bad. This one's just about ready though, and then we can fucking shred a dab through this sweet little mini double diffuse. And I'm going to get into some of this Private Legend. And we'll read what the fucking strains are in the back. It's a little too far away. I can't see it right now. I'll grab this box in 1 second. Once I get this heated up, I'm going to let this nail cool down while it's cooling. We'll talk about this strain. But yeah, man, once I get back from this little family vacation, though, I'm going to just start crushing so hard. Like, obviously, I've been crushing super hard this whole year, but, like, new projects, different shit, like, start investing more money into other things for the company. Like I've kind of like the beginning of this year, like a bunch of family shit happened I had to pay for and help people, and then this family vacation, and then now it's tax season. And once I get all this shit done, it's just what happens every year. The first 4 to 5 months of the year are just me grinding my face off and like not building anything, and then the second half of the year is like me just building new shit and like investing money and like whatever. I don't know. That's just like I can see that's how I've done things over the last like 4 or 5 years. So that's, I'm assuming, my natural progression, like back and forth. It's like first half of the year crazy grinding, second half of the year crazy grinding, but I'm investing in myself. First half of the year I'm always just fucking paying all the debt off or paying all the bills or taking care of people. But I can't wait to get past that. So once I get back from this vacation with the family, I'm gonna fucking just buckle down and do everything I've been saying I was going to do for the last 6 months. So it's been wild. It's been wild for everyone, though. I don't even know what things are anymore. The fucking world is getting crazy. My trainer today was like talking about aliens and like how our fucking, maybe our planet's like a farm where they're like, we're just like farm animals for aliens. Like our civilization builds up from like a low amount to like a really high amount, and then once we hit maybe like 10 billion, then we get harvested, and harvest happens every 10,000 years. That's why human history is maybe only 10,000 years long, because you know every 10,000 years all the books get erased and everyone gets harvested. I was like, whoa, dude, that sounds brutal and scary. I was like, what if it's not like that? That sounds like a really human way too of like breaking something down, of like harvesting animals like cattle. I was like, what if it's like this? I was like, you know, in Iceland, how they use geothermal heat to power their homes and all these things? It's just volcanic heat underground. What if we, in the third dimension, are creating some sort of energy we don't see here, but it's radiating off or off-gassing in the fourth dimension, and maybe the aliens are just harvesting that energy like a geothermal vent, and we're just like the volcano that's just creating all that energy and it's venting off into another place. And then, you know, I was like, we should smoke weed together, trainer, because we have crazy conversations. Me and this lady, she's super cool. Like, and she smokes weed too, and she's like a really fit, athletic person. So cool to see how many people these days are just like normal ass, hardworking people who are like cannabis advocates. They're about it. Gives me hope, because like last episode, I think I might have talked about it a little bit, or the one before that, I'm not even sure. But I'm starting to get weird anxiety about how many episodes I've made of this and smoked weed online. I don't know. I'm like, been getting weird anxiety about, is it like a positive thing or is it a negative? Like, I don't know. Like, am I delusional? Am I living in delusion? Is it because I've lived in Colorado too long? But I feel like so many people are coming out of the woodwork being like, oh, I smoke weed, or I use CBD, or like whatever. Like, there's so many normal people now that are using this plant in their everyday life, and they don't even realize it too. So I'm like, Am I getting too ahead of myself though, thinking that like, oh yeah, eventually everyone's just going to wake up and be like, oh, this is just like, dabbing is equivalent to taking a shot of whiskey, is like, smoking a joint is to drinking a beer. Like, they're just different levels of the same thing, different purity and concentrations. And if anything, when it comes to concentrates and stuff, all we're trying to do is remove the leaf material that's going to combust and burn and create that burning campfire flavor. And we just want to taste the essential plant oils and get whatever benefits we can get from those. And inherently, you're going to get more stoned because it's concentrated, and we have no way of measuring doses of these concentrates, so we take a scoop and we take a dab and see what happens. When realistically, we probably don't need barely any of this. You probably could take the tiniest micro dab and actually get all the medicinal benefits you need with a very mild stone that's similar to taking one little hit off a dry pipe. But it'd be more like cerebral and clean and clear. So clear that you may not realize you're even stoned, because maybe some of the stone feeling you feel is your body reacting to the burnt carcinogens of the leaf material that's typically in a joint, and how heavy you feel because your body's reacting to inhaling a campfire. I don't know. I hope someday that people can have conversations about hash that's more around the lines of it, oh, this is just the more pure, like flavorful way of consuming cannabis. What's really important is the dosage of it, though. Maybe they'll talk back to our time and be like, man, people used to take doses 10,000 times higher than necessary because they didn't realize they thought they needed a scoop that big that was the size of the dabber head. When really they just needed a crumb, and that concentrate could have lasted them this long medicinally. However, besides all the medical benefits, I like getting stoned. I like how it takes the edge off. I'm more functional with cannabis than I could ever be with alcohol or any other stimulant you can think of. Because with this stimulant, with this type of thing like cannabis, for me, I feel like if I was on some sort of synthetic thing that I was using for medical benefits, the ego would still be running wild. Cannabis, you get all these medical benefits, but it also checks that ego and lets you know, hey, like, maybe you've been focusing too much on this. Maybe you need to make sure everybody in your family's doing good. Check on this person, or this or that. Like, I don't think if you're strung out on pain pills or anything like that, you don't have as much. I don't think your ego gets checked. I think you just are thinking about, you get stuck in patterns of, thinking about yourself and trying to get to that next way of feeling good. But I can't really talk on that shit because I'm not someone that's been through that. So I really shouldn't even have commented on it. But my point is I like that cannabis and certain psychedelics like check the ego more than maybe a synthetic drug would. You get another benefit from it that maybe they don't talk about in the medical field, or maybe they don't even talk about in the pharmaceutical field. They don't talk about, hey, this is going to make them feel good, maybe so good that their ego runs out of control and they turn into a maniac. Like, maybe it's good to have like little benefits from certain like compounds and drugs that give you that ego check, that makes sure that you're not being shitty to the people around you. It lets you know, hey, that was kind of shitty the way you just said that. Maybe you should apologize to them or explain your intent. Make your intent clear. And that's one thing I don't think people do nowadays enough. Like, I'm trying to do it with my wife. Like, it's a new thing I want to do with her, where we just like kind of like stating our intent with things, which I've been doing it the last couple years, and it's helped a lot. But like, I want us to like do it kind of together. Like, basically, when say like I left my jacket on the railing and she was like, can you put your jacket away? And like, I might be like, oh, why did she say that so mad? Like, did I do something else? It sounds stupid, but if you come off, like you say something like that and people misinterpret it and then they get upset and it leads to resentment and other fighting and anger, I'm like, hey, I'm going to put it away. I should have put it away. You shouldn't even have had to ask me. But next time when you ask me, you can just be like, hey, I'm not mad at you, but could you just put that away for me? Like, I think stating our intent sometimes is the easiest way to avoid resentment or people overthinking or feeling like they did something wrong or it's related to some other thing. We haven't taken a dab on this 10 mil double diffused yet. How cool is that? How cool is that? If your first time watching this, now you're really confused. You're like, I thought we were talking about glass. Like, what happened? Like, this is weird, man. Oh, my God. Well, one thing I would ask, I should have asked this in the beginning of the episode, but asking now will just be even more authentic. If you watch this weekly, could you guys leave just a heart emoji in the comments? I want to see who our weekly listeners are. I want to know, like, see some of the names and the people who are checking this out weekly. Honestly, if you made it to this point in the episode and through that rant, this is really going to show me a true representation of who's actually liking to watch this weekly. Because some people might just pop in here, there. Oh, this episode's got a guest I want to see. Okay. But these weird ones where I'm ranting by myself, Like, these are the ones where it's like, who's actually watching these? Because these ones are fucking weird. And I appreciate you guys, like, sticking with me, because if you were hanging out with me in real life, this is the shit I talk about. Actually, I go off even more in real life, because you really have to be careful on the internet. But, like, me and my trainer talk about crazy shit. And, like, I do that with other people I interact with, too, like, go deep. And maybe someday we can get to that point where I'll be successful enough where we can get even crazier on here without threatening the livelihood of everyone involved. But we'll see. Damn, it's a good latte, but it ain't soothing my throat. I'll tell you that. That shit is kind of fried. I don't know why. I think I wasn't ready for that. If your first dab of the day is, like, too fat, like, it doesn't matter how low temp and perfect it was, like, your body's like, whoa, dude, that was a lot of smoke. I'm not going to do that again until the end. I'm just going to do fucking spinner cap dabs, because if you throw one of those high flow bubble caps we make on there, those higher flow bubble caps, it's like a lot of smoke right away. Whereas a spinner cap is like a consistent stream. It's like just like there's a fountain perfectly pouring out, where the bubble cap is like explosions of smoke. It's like, whoa, God, that was thicker than I expected. The spinner cap's way more consistent. Holy fuck. This is that time of the episode my hands get cold. It's like a little shaky. I feel it. It's happening. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe it's these chairs. Maybe after this long, I start losing circulation to certain parts of my body because this hard wooden chair I'm sitting on. We're just trying to kill time till this dab's cooled down. You know what it is. If you're just listening to the audio, these are the parts where you're just like, what are we doing? What's going on? Video listeners know, though. All right, so this is some Private Legend. We'll talk about the terp and what the cross is on this once I take the dab. All right, I'm really fumbling here, folks. That's okay. It's going to be perfect temp anyways. Whoa. What the fuck is that? Whoa, that's a crazy terp. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, yeah, you like that crinkling on the mic? That's tissue paper, folks. Okay. I feel weird doing that on the mic anymore. I'll do it over here. Boom. Wow. Okay, so that was the Private Legend. That was Private Fire times White Legend OG. One of those has got some crazy cushion in it. I don't know which strain it is. Maybe it's the Private Fire. Maybe it's the White Legends OG. But, wow. Like, that's what I would assume something from India would taste like. Like, very exotic, like, spices and sweetness. Like, bro, that tastes like something, like, literally, like, I'd be sitting with, like, a guru on some sort of mountaintop, and he would hand me a pipe, and I would smoke it, and it would taste like that. Like, these crazy, like, layers of spices, floral notes. That's just kush or something in there. And maybe I'm describing the strain lineage incorrectly, but what I'm experiencing is exactly that. Mountaintop with a guru, smoking this pipe with him, and he's just making everything all right with that fucking cushy, terpy. What is that? Private Legend. Private Fire times White Legends OG. I don't know much about either of those strains. Wow, that's good. And this mini double diffused. They are really really terpy, great, like perfect. The mini double diffused, I mean, they're perfect. I mean, I know I smoked the 14 mil double diffused bigger. That's my preference. But I'd say just like as a general thing, like, man, these are just like the size of them and everything. Like, it'd be at a sesh and it wouldn't look like it's towering over everything. And like the size of it just feels great in your hand. Like, these mini double diffused are really, they might be the flagship in a couple of years, just from customers that have smoked all the different ones. Like, man, that's a perfect size for me. Some people like it even smaller, so they go with the micro. And myself, I like a little bit more water, a little bit bigger of a piece, so I don't have to bend down so low. I like it to be up a little higher. All that can be adjusted depending on what size table you got as well. This is a lower tabletop. So if you had a higher tabletop, a micro piece is closer to get to it, you know. Holy shit. Wow, that was really something. That like got my fucking... Okay, it must be cold out here. Eyes just buttoning up. It's gotten cold again. It's fucking cold in Colorado Springs today. The weather's so fucking weird here. I swear. The days that it's super cloudy and you can't see 10 feet in front of you, those are the days that NORAD is flying aliens out of the top of the mountain. Because they're like getting that coverage over the sky so you don't see anything going on. And the Air Force is moving those bad boys out of there. I swear. But I'm also just kidding. I have other hash on the table today. That's my wedding cake sour diesel, but I'm probably not going to smoke any of that in today's episode. Shit's too strong, first of all, and also I only have like less than a gram of it. I smoked through that so fast. I don't know what's been happening lately. It doesn't matter how much hash I buy, I smoke through it in the same amount of time. So I should just set a limit. Like, oh, I only spend this much a week. Because no matter how much I spend, I smoke through all of it in a week. I don't know what's happening. You know, I think I smoke more hash when I'm more stressed. I swear. I think I said that last episode too. Okay, so that was really good. That was the Private Legend. I guess I put the Banana OG in there. That was like from last week, whatever. I'll just set this on top of there. All right, so, man, we're flying through this episode, and I'm not even getting through these pieces quick enough. We got to talk about these last two. 14 mil. This one is full crushed opal. Full pink slime, 14 millimeter double diffused with the sidekick drain. And man, that pink slime, when you work it and sleeve it right and put opal in it, it's so pretty and transparent and sparkly. I know probably on the like podcast cameras you guys aren't gonna be able to see the sparkle, but you can see how like nice of a pink it is. And it has a little CFL quality too. Like in this light, oh, there's my oxygen being delivered. Oh fuck, we might have to pause this dude for a second. All right, we'll be right back, folks. You won't even notice the thing. And we're back. Sweet. Yep, we just got an oxygen delivery, guys, because we ran out over the weekend and we needed some fresh stuff so we could blow glass today. So we just got our fresh oxygen finally, and that shit's loud as fuck, so we had to take a quick break. But we were talking about this 14 millimeter double diffuse made with pink slime and crushed opal. And I was saying right before this ended how it has a little bit of CFL tendencies. Like in this light, it's kind of like a lighter, softer pink with some like lavender and purple in it. But in other lights, it might be like super, super pink, like more of like a hotter pink. And like, I don't know if like they sell it as CFL, but it definitely reacts to CFL a certain way, especially if it's sleeved. I'm really stoked. This piece sold at the last Sunday sale. It didn't have photos of it. It just didn't make it to the photo booth before the sale, but someone still scooped it, which I'm like super grateful. Bought without even seeing it. They just saw the name. They're like, okay, sounds good. Scooping. So I'm super grateful for whoever you are. This piece is a true gem. I'm excited to show it off right now. In this strain, you can see all that function, even though it has all that bright color with little fuminess, you still can see all the function. It's super transparent, especially through the little sidekick like bend and everything. So once you get a dab on that, it'll start showing that really aggressive bubble line, like whipping around there. But let's warm her up and let's finish up today's episode. Final piece we'll talk about is the 10 millimeter 3x3. That's the first one. First two were both Big Z collabs, and they were both 14 mil and a bit bigger. And that's 10 mil. But let's get a dab on this, and then we'll talk about that one. I'm hitting the mic, man. Honestly, that cool air outside kind of like woke my ass up, made me feel a little better. Talked to my delivery driver. His name is Hope. I love his name. I'm like, God, you got a great name, bro. Because you say that name, you say bye, Hope, or hi, Hope. I don't know. I like it. I'm just Evan. I just look like every white dude out there that has beard and glasses, like Seth Rogen or like the guy that made you your sandwich at Subway last week. Like I look like every white dude, which I like. I enjoy blending in. It's nice. Less people bother you, I feel like. But let's warm up this piece. Let's get some pearls in there. Do I have tweezers? No. Okay. I guess there was no point in putting all these pearls on the table. I'm so excited for summer. I'm so excited that fucking the time has changed a little bit, and now the sun is out till like, 6:30 at night or so. Man, it's such a noticeable difference for me for some reason. Even though I stay up all the time, and like time is weird for me because I'm always awake. There is a different energy about the time of year when spring's hitting and like the sun's out longer. Just the sun being out longer feels so fucking good. The other night I was working. It was a Saturday night and I was crushing my last piece for the Sunday sale. And I looked at my clock. I was like, all right, it's 2:27. I was like, I got an hour and a half till 4 a.m. because I have to cool the kiln by 4 a.m. or else the pieces won't be cool in time for my wife to take photos for the Sunday sale. They need like hours. Like they really need about 6 hours. But sometimes I can only get them down for about 5 and then I got to take them out. So I was like, okay, sweet. I got an hour and a half to finish this piece. This one right here that you're looking at. And I was like, I can do this. So I start working, I'm going, and I'm like, and I look at my phone again, now it says 3:30. And I'm like, and then I was like, for a minute, like we talked about last episode, I was like, I thought I might have had a seizure. I thought, well, I lost time. Like, I was convinced something supernatural had happened. But then I stepped back, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, and then I Googled it, and it was daylight savings. And I was like, I just worked through daylight savings. Like, it happened while I was awake. I literally watched time be stolen from me. But really, you didn't lose any time. It's just what the world says time is. So, but that's the world we live in. So we experience the reality we believe in. So I lost fucking time. But, and when I lost time, I was like, shit, it's 3:30 in the morning. That means I have to cool the piece in a half hour. It's not getting done. Because the Sunday sale still was happening at 11 a.m. So that means that, like, literally, I lost an hour in the realm I was living in because I needed it to be done for an 11 a.m. sale. Oh, bro. There we are. Thank you. What do they call these? Terpene, pearl talon? I don't know what they're called. Someone makes them, someone sells them, and people buy them. That's what I do now. That's all I know about anything, dude. Oh, God. It's been awesome. Life's great. It's been good. I'm stoked to start seeing, like, some of, like, my, like, favorite podcasts are starting to get back in their normal rhythm and stuff, the ones I watch and shit, because I feel like during the pandy, like, a lot of people, it was hard for them to have guests, or people had to take breaks because people got sick, or they were, like, tested positive for the Ronas. So, like, it seems like a lot of, like, the normal stuff that I used to really enjoy in 2019, some of it's starting to come back, and that normalcy is starting to feel pretty good. And I hope you guys are finding some things in your life that you can still feel a little bit normal with how horrible and crazy things have been for the last year. Because, man, oh my god, I don't use these often, guys. I'm new here. I have these in the studio. I have all the tools. You'd be like, wow, you have everything to do it right. And I'm like, yeah, and I still do it wrong. How about that? It's perfect. It's great. It's a great way to be. Man, I have not used those micro pearls since we did that one episode. This thing I don't think would work for getting those out. Actually, it probably would. Oh, I'm curious. It really doesn't matter because I'm not going to put one in here, but I'm going to answer this question for myself. Oh, yeah. So you can grab the micro pearls with these too. They work for everything. I'm sure Ruby Pearl Co. sells these on their website, and I don't have a promo code, but me and Aja are working on something for promo codes. We've got big plans. Big plans. This set, if our promo code idea goes off, like, this set's going to be on a spaceship because it's going to be so lucrative. Let's warm this up. I'm just kidding. Just having fun over here. I dropped out in 10th grade and I smoke hash all day. I have little to no ideas. And if I did have an idea, the amount of ability I'd have to execute it, it's not there. So we're just having fun over here. Yeah, but this hash, we've only gotten through the private reserve grape nerds. There's 5. So I don't really know what's going to happen in the last 5 minutes right now, because that's about what we got left, right? About 5 minutes, Aja? Yeah. 10? Okay, cool. We can get them all in. My throat feels better now. That first dab of that bubble cap kind of rocked my world. I'm not sure what happened. That last little hit with the torch there was because I saw a little smoke coming out and I was like, stop it. And for some reason that stops it if you just blast it with the fire right there at the top of the nail. Snail is chazzed. All nails are chazzed here. There was an episode recently where I talked about nail maintenance, and I did use a brand new nail. That nail is now chazzed. Nails, we only maintenance them when people are looking. You know, if no one's looking, we're over here just fucking messing them up, I swear. I'm going to get a nice nail, though, and then I'm going to keep it in my drawer just for when I take nice dabs. And me and Cormac and everyone else isn't allowed to touch it unless, like, I'm taking a nice dab and monitoring the nail. Because you leave a nail out on a table in a piece all day for, like, 12 hours, it just sees things. Things happen to it. Like, it doesn't even... it's bad. I don't care, though. The hash is so fire that they still taste great on these burnt nails. I'm not going to... If a dab doesn't taste good, I'm not going to blame it on the nail. I can't turn this on now. There's some issue. Oh, there it goes. I really don't know why that turned on because I definitely didn't click it 3 times. Maybe it just felt bad for me and it was like, all right, fucking turn it on for this guy. His thumb ain't working. It's too cold. Literally, Aja, the temperature must have dropped 10 degrees since you got here. The breeze out there, not breeze, the wind. It is coming from somewhere evil. So cold. Oh, the north. Or from the mountains, I don't know. We're right at the base of the Rocky Mountains, so the winds we get in the Front Range are crazy because the winds just ride the mountains like a fucking little water slide. And they just smashed into all the little houses along the mountains in the Front Range. Oh, let's test the temp here, though. That's why I turned this on in the first place. Let's not forget that we're doing weed. Ugh, that's definitely too cold. We missed out. Banana puffy. Let's open some hash. We actually have to get the hash out to smoke it. See, this is why I smoke less hash if I leave them in the boxes. Ooh, that banana puffy looks wonderful. Oh, it smells pretty fucking crazy, too. Crazy how good solventless and everything's gotten over the years. I always wonder though if, like, you know, maybe like 5, 6, 7,000 years ago, I mean, people were smoking hash back then too, but I wonder if they like had refined versions of hash because they had like their you know, they had their production hash that, like, you know, in certain temples they would just burn big like brass trays of hash and everyone would talk about philosophy all day and get high, basically just like hotboxing a room. And that's what they used to do in like ancient Greece, Rome. Like, they would just burn blocks of hash, put down the curtains in all these big beautiful fucking like places they built and just get baked and talk about ideas of like, what if this happens, what if this happens, bro. Everyone was literally stoners 2,000 years ago is my point. And I wonder if they had refined versions like this, because this is just made with like water and ice and a quality plant. Like, I wonder if they had that ability and figured it out. And I always say it to my dad. I'm like, when we get really stoned and hang out, which is, it's been a while. I haven't seen him in like months, but I'll be like, Dad, what if the Egyptians, when they were referring to gold and talking about gold, maybe they were just talking about terps. Maybe they had like little jars of like golden perfect little hash and terps, and like they were obsessed with terps. And he's like, definitely not, but that's a cool idea, son. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like, to me, I'm like, that's way more fun to believe that, like, instead of referring to an actual physical metal, maybe they were obsessed with the terps or honey from bees. Maybe honey was the gold they were referring to. I don't know. But I just wonder if it was actually the physical gold that they were actually obsessed with. Because certain cultures had so much of it. I don't think it was important to every culture. I think that was a real cultural thing. But I think that cannabis and stuff like this, like plant medicines, you get crazy like spiritual and like stuff like return from it. It's different. It's not that physical return you get from buying something. It's more of a mental return. Just trying to kill time while the nail cools down. You guys know what we're doing here. It's like, at this point, unless it's your first episode, but most of the people that are watching this, I feel like have watched more than one, because it's like the same numbers each week around, the same amount of people watching. So, you know, I'm like, it's got to be about the same crew. So we know where we're at this point. Because I don't promote this podcast heavy on my They Did It Instagram, which I should more. I was there for a couple weeks and then I stopped again. I think it's because I felt self-conscious about the last couple episodes because they were like kind of emotional. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to like advertise. I can have a new person. Like, it's literally like I've told you guys before. I've had big glass blowers like leave a comment or reach out to me and be like, hey, I'm about to watch your first episode. And then I never hear anything back from them. I'm like, perfect. That's perfect. I scared them away. So just gotta maybe not be so real. Oh, I think I need more water. Fuck yeah, I need more water. Whatever. I mean, she still spit it and rage it, but I definitely need more water than that. I didn't test it before the episode. Whoa, that was a banana puffy. That was really fire. Sorry, I'm coughing in the mic. God. When I listen back to these episodes, I get so mad at myself sometimes. I'm like, dude, just turn your head like a little bit, because when you like have headphones on and you're listening to these episodes, some of the coughs are like terrifying. You're like, holy shit. Like, and I know it's happening. And so I'm trying to be more conscious of that. Sorry about coughing in the mic so much. I know we can't all love it. Wow, that banana puffy though. That's like banana runts. I've smoked a lot of different banana strains. Most of them are like real creamy. That one has some of that creaminess to it, but man, that's like a really like ripe, fresh banana. Not really like the banana bread or like a banana pudding or anything. That's like a fresh, ripe banana. What's the cross on this though? Banana puffy is banana OG times thin mint cookies. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, because there was something weird I was tasting in there. Not weird, like it's just different on the end of it there. And it's definitely that thin mint cookies. There's like some sort of like, oh my god, it's almost like chocolatey liquor or something, like alcohol, like a chocolatey alcohol flavor right at the end of that. That might be from the thin mint cookies. I'm not sure. It's really good though. God, Laser Cat does a great job. Like honestly, I feel like everyone's doing a great job. I know that like within the hash scene, I'm sure there's turmoil and people are like, oh, this person sucks. They don't do it as good as this person. But to me as a consumer, I'm just like, hey man, like I've smoked hash for a decade, and like I've been dabbing for a decade, and fucking the hash is just, it's all pretty fucking good nowadays. It really is. Anyone that's been smoking hash for a decade, anyone that's smoked hot knives over a stove knows that, hey, dude, like we can complain, but this shit's all pretty good. Even the worst is pretty good nowadays. Like, I used to be at festivals and people would be walking around with mason jars full of black goo, and they'd be like, you want some dabs? And I'm like, fuck, I guess so. And everything was so bad. I don't even know if it was cannabis. Who knows what the fuck it was? Seriously. It's crazy. Everything is pretty fucking good nowadays. All right, so now I want to get into the papaya cake real quick. And we'll talk about this last piece. And I need 10 mil here. Okay. Kind of want to hit this one like almost like straight onto the camera, but or maybe we could hit it like backwards like this. It might be hard though, because the symmetry is what's cool about these triple drain pieces. Like, yeah, you can show either side, but sometimes it's hard to realize that like, oh, there's like 2 drains simultaneously at the bottom going there. These pieces are pretty complicated. Just with the water flow is the hardest part. I mean, assembly is always complicated in any piece. Honestly, even a simple piece sometimes will be the most complicated to assemble. Shit just happens. But really, it's more the functional end on these, trying to get everything to work the way you want it to work. Because every piece is different. Every piece is essentially handmade. Parts were shaped on the lathe, but it's still like, I'm not there like measuring inner wall diameter and like fluid ounces of a piece. Like, this is all like by eye and measuring by eye and just like, you know, predicting how water is going to flow through a certain diameter and having the return match it in a way where it doesn't get stuck somewhere. Like, there's just a lot of like, there's a lot of factors when designing a piece like this when you're trying to make everything function. But what's nice about the RBR design is it's simple enough that you can get real complex with it too, and the base function still holds true. As hard as you like push the technicality of the drains or like how many discs, it's like the base function still is like there. It does not matter, which is really cool to see. To have a pipe that I've put in so many different variations, sizes, yet it still performs at its base function. Like, hey, that functions, moves, it has that effortless feel, like, for what it is. Like, that's probably one of the things that I would say, which I never like complimenting myself or anything or a product I make, but is impressive about the RBR is that as crazy as I'll get with it, the base function still just stays true. And it's just a really, I feel like there used to be just one staple recycler design where it was like uptakes into a funnel and then drain into the can. And like this is like that but different. I feel like this is like a new type of like base design for simple recyclers to build off of. You know? I don't know. I'm not I'm not trying to toot a horn or anything. I really hope I'm not coming off like I have an ego or I think I'm cool or something. I'm trying to like learn to appreciate myself a little more, because I like I'm hard on myself. It's how I work like so much too, is because I'm definitely hard on myself with things. So we're gonna go for the papaya cake next. Let's leave that there. And what's this cross here on the papaya cake? Wedding cake times papaya. Wow, that's really straightforward. I've had both strains. Wedding cake is something I smoked through this whole fucking podcast basically. And then papaya is something I've been smoking since I lived in Colorado. I used to get tons of papaya. Oh my God. I used to get tons of papaya from a company that's still here called Viola. That's like anytime they drop papaya back in 2014, 2015, I'd be buying that papaya. Man, and because it didn't matter like what batch it always was papaya. It was always so strong. It's one of those strains that just holds true because it's just so good. So papaya times wedding cake, it's like the best of both worlds. Two great strains come together to make one. So let's see how it is. I've had this before, not this batch. This is all buttered up. I left everything out overnight. I just fucking let it butter up. I was like, fuck it, we're smoking it. I know some people are like, oh, put it in the fridge when you're done with it. But I'm like, I don't like it to always be sappy. Sometimes I feel like the sappiness, like the terps are like trapped, and maybe that's not as aromatic when I'm hitting it. Just like when I'm smelling it when it's buttered up, there's just more of that aromatic flavor. And I think that, I don't know how it really works. Hashmaker would definitely explain this better. But I don't know if you guys have ever smelled like fresh hash that like doesn't have a super strong nose on it, but it tastes pretty good, as opposed to when you let it cure up and it smells way better. It's really true with rosin, I feel like, because like I feel like the terps get trapped in really fresh rosin because it's like a sap. Like the actual like molecule that makes that smell can't physically get out of the fucking matrix of that sticky goo. It's like stuck in there, trapped. But when it's buttered up and all cured up, it's more like a sponge. So it's all these open holes, so the aromatic molecule that makes this smell or whatever that comes off this specific terpene can actually escape, and you can smell it. And I think that the reason it tastes better when it's buttered up too like that is literally that reason, that when it's hitting the nail, that terpene's escaping quicker out of the material before it's vaporized and inhaled. So you're getting to experience more of the flavor before it essentially gets burned off, and then you're just inhaling THC. I don't know. I hope someday we can have some more educated people on here besides my goofy ass just making up stuff. Pretending like I think I know what I'm talking about. I think they're good guesses, but I don't know if it's accurate, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll have someone in the comments that makes hash or something. It's like, dude, this is actually how it works. I mean, I've had hash makers on here, but I don't know if even like my friends could really explain it to me. I feel like I need someone that's like a chemist or something, that's like that understands things on a chemical and biological level. But who knows? I'm excited to keep learning things though. I think that's one of the funnest things about working from home and throwing a pair of headphones in and listening to podcasts or different TED Talks or documentaries or something. I love just learning new stuff. I used to love just watching crazy conspiracy and ancient alien stuff. And I did that for years. We all go through that progression, but then now I'm actually really interested in just other stuff that's even more fact-based and all that. I guess I like knowing everything, not knowing everything. I like learning about as much things as possible. I don't need to hear one narrative. I'm happy to listen to all the different narratives. One of the things now as an adult I would go back to school for is, honestly, I would go back to school for religious studies. I want to learn about all the different major religions in the world and why the fuck people doing things. I feel like we can learn so much about our species, habits and the things we do, especially over the last 4,000 or 5,000 years, just by looking at, what all these different major religions have been doing. But that's one thing I'd probably go to school for. And that's nothing I can make money off of, but it would be something I would just be interested in learning about, just so I could understand other cultures. and other people. Because I feel like if you can understand why someone's doing something and their intent, then maybe you can relate with them and be a little bit more tolerant and understanding to them why they're reacting to you in a certain way. And then but yeah, so maybe it's the reason I want to learn about that shit is like communication. I don't know. Again, we are just trying to kill time while this now cools down. This episode, we're just about done, guys. It's been a wild day again for me. Appreciate all you folks that hang out with us each week. The fade on this is Mystique and Royal Jelly. Well, it's still 640 degrees, guys. It's gonna be another second. That's okay though. Take another sip of coffee and actually get prepared to enjoy this dab of papaya cake, wedding cake crossed with papaya. I like how straightforward that strain is. I say some of these names to even people I know that smoke weed, and they're like, "What the fuck are you saying, dude?" I play World of Warcraft with a whole guild of people who all smoke weed. All their names are weed related, and I'll talk about certain like hash and terps, and they're like, they think I'm making things up. They're like, "This is like." I think they think that I'm a cop, like I don't actually smoke weed or something. They're like, this is not even a real thing. Papayas and wedding cake. They're like, "No, dude." They're like. And then I have some of the guys in there, they're just like, "Whatever happened to just smoking weed?" And I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm literally just smoking weed. But hey, can't teach an old dog new tricks, can ya? But maybe you can. Oh my God, I'm shaky today. It's going to be a good one. I don't even know how to do this. How do you smoke weed again? God, this thing fucking shreds. Both those vortexes just go super hard. Okay, super heavy papaya terps, but then creamy OG at the end. Ooh, and then like salty butteriness from that cookie and that wedding cake. Perfect. It's a perfect strain. That's perfect. Because even if you don't like fruity stuff, it's just a little bit of that papaya in the beginning. It's like, ooh, that's like a really like fruity sour papaya, and then all of a sudden that OG hits, you're like, oh, some gas. And then your mouth starts watering and you get that awesome part of any really well grown cookie strain, that salty, buttery terp that I love to have with my coffee. Wow, what a day. We put it together. We made it happen. I really appreciate you folks. Do not forget to go to bmsglass.com, sign up for our newsletter. Check out the new mood mats. We got the shirts up on there. We re-released the original Bear Mountain Studio shirts and the new hoodies. We put even more time into researching more brands. We tried a bunch of different stuff. I wore stuff for like months, and I think we found the best like shirt and hoodie, at least for the husky boy like myself, but they go all the way down to smaller sizes, so they'll fit everybody. But I'm really rough on my shit, so we had to try a bunch of different stuff to figure out which ones were actually going to work. So we really appreciate you folks. We're stoked to be dropping all of that. And man, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'm excited for next week. We will have a Sunday sale next weekend, and then probably one more big one before I get out of town for like 4 or 5 days with the family. Try to chill out. But this is the What's Up Everybody podcast, and man, I needed this today, so thank you guys. Everybody that hung out, y'all are the best. Have a great day. We got a joint today, like usual.